My experience with startups is they come at stages, right? And so you have the startup stage, and yes, the cost of capital to start an internet marketing, of course, is low. But my experience is then when you start to get the customers or get the demand for whatever the service or product is, you go to stage 2 of investment. So maybe you used your own savings, family and friends savings, but I don't see the ecosystem here for then infusing that next round of capital. My experience is here there's a gap between like microfinance or special programs to start and where banks think you're legitimate enough to invest in you to keep them going. So they talk about the SBA in America. There are other things for what I call no man's land that exist in America that I don't see exist here. So yes, I think you can start it, and I would encourage every entrepreneur to get the startup going. But know that you would still need the capital to keep going once you hit the next level. There's an old phrase in American English that we think the startup is hard. 2/3 of the work starts after you start up. So yes, the startup is a challenge, but 2/3 of the work from an investor, whether you're an angel investor, which is the investor who does the first round, or you're the second, third round investor, which is where I play, that's where the real work begins, because the money and issues are higher. The stress part, I go to the ecosystem of the mentor, to have the guy or gal sitting next to you who's done it and can just say, okay, you need to go get the coffee, or you need to go run, or you need to take a breath, or it's going to be okay. No book can give you that. I don't think a video can give you that. I think it's the live person next to you who's been there, done it, which is why I go back to the mentor piece. And that's the one I'm still looking for here in Morocco.
I think it's the cafeteria that Mr. Belafrage was talking about,
exactly.
where the sharing of experiences, and you could, you know, when you see somebody else in the same, having the same problems that you're having, I think.
Just get connected to something,
exactly.
a network, and we have in Morocco now. Some of them, maybe they were not very known when I was talking about AFEM, Association des Femmes Chefs d'Entreprise. It's a real network. When you're a woman entrepreneur and it has now 10 years, I think, almost 10 years, you get connected there. It helps you in managing your business, maybe getting customers, maybe they're just on the stress issue. So get connected to something, to a network. I didn't talk about CJD, Centre des Jeunes Dirigeants. Yes. They have their headquarters here. They have also, they provide actually opportunities for entrepreneurs to meet, to share their experience. But I would say the cafeteria is not about just sharing the stress, and it's doing business. It's doing business because, as I was saying, large corporations don't trust that much startups, but for me, the best entrepreneurs in the technopark are the ones that find their first customer in the technopark. They find a customer in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They manage to sell something to another entrepreneur, and then partner with that him or she to get to something. So yeah, get connected. Technopark is do this, yeah, because we have plenty of association and everything. It's easy to get connected in the technopark, but in other cities or even in Casablanca, there are other opportunities to get connected. I would just react on the France issue. I'm very critical about all the things Morocco did with copying the French system and everything, but we should not be wrong this time. It's time to copy France on entrepreneurship. What's happening in France these last 2 years, it's amazing. All Europeans, I was at Le Web in Paris in December, all Europeans, Germans, British, everybody is looking at what French are doing in entrepreneurship, trying to copy the American model with the European touch. They open every week there is a co-working space opening in France with the help from to the government, all local governments, all the private sector, incubators, accelerators, something I'm trying to pushing for and advocate for in Morocco. They did something that is very easy to do in Morocco. They have Secretary of State for the IT. It's IT, but it can be another topic. She's on IT. This is a lady. She organized what they call the Jeudi Digital. Every first Thursday of the month, she has a selection of 10 startups selected. They have a jury to select 10 startups. They put with 5, I think, large companies, and they go to a specific minister, they meet with the Ministry of Interior one month, the next month, and they go, they spend 2 hours together, and at the end there is business. Something very easy, we can do, it doesn't cost much. We should do it in Morocco.
So, we are in a very clear situation of the blue ocean strategy, what it presents. You have two sources of doing things. Whether you're in the red ocean area, where the incumbents are, where the big groups are, where the government and public elected officials are, either locally or nationally. People who believe in the traditional way of making money, creating added value, creating wealth, and maybe distributing wealth. The rules in this world are tough. Competitiveness is harsh. Reality is difficult. Entrepreneurs, especially those who launch startups, cannot compete in this world. Especially if you take into consideration what I've introduced a moment before, which is the weight of the inefficiency of public policies in terms of investment, for instance. You know what is the budget of investment in Morocco? It's something like 15 billion Moroccan dirhams. I'm talking governmental investment. And of course you have additional investment in the local government. But how is this money spent on the ground? What is the engineering that is being done within the public spheres? What does the institutional design that we have today allow for local entrepreneurs? Someone said, well, we are not looking for charity, of course. I agree with you. But people who are at the origin of the expenditure need to be creative themselves, need to package the RFPs in a different way in order to allow. The law, regulations will not solve these kind of questions. So the people who are recruited in the public administration need to think different, because they are not aware, they're not all the time aware of the possible impact they have on young entrepreneurs, especially. They're not aware of the dynamics of the market. And when they do things in a classic or traditional way, they harm, I would say, half of the potential of the country. I am a member of the budget committee in the parliament. So when we discuss the budget law, budget act, we discuss, of course, investment policies, taxes, how do we encourage investment, etc., etc., etc. And the government itself recognized that there is a failure today to struggle against the shadow economy. Why, in your opinion? We're not talking about these very exceptional companies which have exceptional concepts. Not everybody will do this kind of things. Not everybody will come with an invention. We are talking about normal entrepreneurship, where people have ideas, they have will, they can put all the energy they have, the experience, to bring something to the offer. So, if there is a failure, that means that there is a cultural point that needs to be tackled. And these cultural points cannot be tackled in an individual way, which means that you need to act especially at the public, level
job market every year. So we need to foster a new generation of entrepreneurs. Unfortunately, despite all the incentives given by the government, we haven't succeeded to encourage graduates to create their own business. And we think in Injaz that the problem is because these students have not been prepared very early to take initiative. They have not the entrepreneurship spirit. This is why many companies decided to create Injaz, which aim to stimulate the entrepreneurial spirit of youth. So we decided to don't invent the wheel. We decided to see what are the best practices around the world. And we found something amazing. It's called Junior Achievement, created in 1919 in US. So this organization created a program based on learning by doing. And this program has to be delivered by executive volunteers who go to school 2 hours a week to train students. An example, the core program is called company program. We coach always one class, 25 students in average, to create a real small company during the academic year. It's not a simulation. They created a company, they agree on product, and they conduct feasibility study, business plan, they sell share, they produce, they sell, and according to some survey at the international level, we noticed that 30% of students who benefit from this program create their own business when they are 25 years old. So, what is the challenge? The challenge is we have to mobilize businesses because we need to manage this association like a company. We need a coach, we need a marketing department and a program department. So we need fund and we need a volunteer. And so we have succeeded to get involved 90 largest company in Morocco in this organization. So fundraising is not an issue anymore for us. And we have succeeded to get involved 1,750 volunteers. So we have an increase rate of the beneficiary of 70% every year. We are today implementing our program in 12 cities, and next year we will be in 16 cities.
Yeah, I just wanted to build on what Omar said about access to market and access to opportunities. And I would say it's a matter of trust, trusting the small companies and getting that first invoice. And I just received an email of one of my mentee yesterday, thanking me for allowing him to issue his first invoice. And when I say the first invoice, you know, this company has no balance sheet, because in Morocco, if you want to apply for a tender, they will always ask you for the 3-year balance sheet. And if you don't have a 3-year balance sheet, that means you don't have access to market opportunities. The other aspect to outline is when you talk about market access and market opportunities, Morocco is a small market. You mentioned that, you know, the size of the market is so small because we haven't, and I haven't seen any policy in Morocco encouraging emerging class, you know, a middle class. And the middle class is what makes the economy strong and makes the consumers using your products and services. And if we do not, you know, really encourage this middle class, I don't think we're going to really help these startups, you know, thrive and grow easily. I was discussing with my son just yesterday morning about the BRICS and what makes the BRICS, you know, BRICS is because they really invested in the middle class and really gave them the revenues to buy startups' products. The other last thing I want to mention, everyone talks about, you know, the ease of doing business, the ease of creating a company, and policies. But who really run policies at the end of the day? Institutions. You mentioned the Small Business Act. The Small Business Act, behind it, there is a Small Business Administration, the SBA in the US. And the SBA offer all the support mechanism to small businesses. And they even go further, like creating minority business centers, women business centers, and stuff that we have in Morocco, definitely, but it has to go further in creating these, specific, I would say, programs for specific, companies, SMEs and typical